Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Unlock over $3,500 in business and travel value annually with statement credits on select purchases from brands like Dell, Hilton, and Adobe, and other benefits. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Based on total potential value of statement credits on select purchases and other benefits, enrollments required, monthly and other limits and terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
You'll know Dan Mangan as a Vancouver indie folk rock artist who's making big waves in the Canadian music scene. He's built a solid foothold, and his star is only getting brighter. He's a two-time Juno Award winner, has released several acclaimed albums with multiple Polaris Music Prize nominations. He's toured relentlessly in North America, Europe, Australia, played major festivals like Glastonbury, sold out iconic venues. Now, beyond the albums, you've heard his music in film and TV. In 2017, Dan co-founded Side Door, which is a platform that connects artists with alternative performance spaces. Hardworking, humble, a genuinely good dude. When he jumped to Zoom with us, it was long overdue. We talked about it for a while. And cool to hear Dan talking about the music that was played in his house as a kid growing up, his profound love of Radiohead, the shows that he was binge watching at the time, the fact that he's a fair-weathered sports fan. We talked about COVID and creativity, his first concert, how bands blow up with the help of one song and TikTok. And stop me if you've heard this before, Dan talked about Lennon versus McCartney and the Peter Jackson Beatles documentary.
My whole life, I was a Lennon guy. Always, Paul always seemed like the politician, and Lennon sort of seemed like the wild card. And Lennon wrote the weirder songs. Lennon was funnier. Lennon was sharp, kind of had this like cutting wit to him. And I always kind of idolized John Lennon. And as I get older, I realize that I'm more of a McCartney. I'm not a mysterious guy. I'm kind of plain as day, pretty transparent. I don't thrive behind the veil. I thrive when we, kind of break the pedestal. And so I've started, as I've gotten older, to empathize with Paul more. And what's interesting is that I always said I liked John better my whole life, but I sing my kids songs like when they're tucking them into bed or whatever. And I sing them, I've always sung them songs, Beatles songs, and they're all Paul songs. It's all I Will, or I've Just Seen a Face, or Yesterday, or Hey Jude. They're all Paul songs. And that says something, it's in terms of like what, he wrote the iconic anthems, and I'm watching a little bit of the Peter Jackson. I haven't watched it all, but I watched a bunch of that Peter Jackson documentary.
Yeah.
And
so good.
It's amazing. I love the fly on the wall. I love that he didn't mess with it. He didn't fuck with it. He didn't like get in there and try and editorialize it into something. He just sort of like lets you watch and observe.
Mm-hmm.
And
really
I love
crazy to watch, like the progression of these songs that now we know and love, and some of the best songs ever, and just to see the way that they came about it, almost kind of stumbled across it.
And I love that it makes them you realize that they're human. Like these songs are so ubiquitous. They're like wallpaper to us culturally. Mm-hmm. And you realize, they could have done it differently. They could have chosen this lyric. They could have chosen, and it puts you back into the process of like, okay, these people aren't aliens. They didn't just like descend upon earth with all of these songs. They had to work for them just like we all do. And the process is arduous and it hurts, but you get to the other side, it can be glorious. And so it was really beautiful. And all that to say, like, I think that the documentary really, it kind of shows you that love him or hate him, that mostly people love him, but Paul was the leader. Like, he was, like the band would have broken up 5 years earlier if Paul didn't keep them together.
Right.
And you can kind of see him coaxing everything and and he gets in a tiff a little bit with George, which is a little bit sad because you want them all to be buds. But like, he was the leader. He was the one gluing it all together. And you got to give him props.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by the Homed Well Group. Buying a house? Selling your home? Contact Kyle at homedwell.ca today.